Wow, 2019 is coming to an end. And it's not just the end of a year, it's the end of a decade, which can be really exciting because that means we're starting fresh, we're starting new with not just another year, but another decade. So my question for you is, how can you make your next decade your best decade ever? So in this video, which is video 1 of a 2-part series, I am going to go into some actionable steps that you can take now so that you can make sure that your next decade is your best decade. Before I get started, I just want to remind you to please hit that red subscribe button so that you can subscribe to our channel and also be notified of all of our new videos that we post every single week, because of course we want you to be in the know. So let's go ahead and hop into the topic today, which is about how you can make 2020 your best decade ever. So I absolutely love the new year, right? We all do. We start off gung-ho 110% with our New Year's resolutions, with all of these amazing things that we want to accomplish, and we're excited and we're pumped to make it happen. But then things start to dwindle and that excitement starts to diminish, unfortunately. And a lot of times by February or March, we've kind of forgotten about the resolutions that we set in January. So I really want to give you some actionable steps to make sure that you are setting realistic yet big yet achievable goals and dreams for yourself over the next year, but then also over the next decade. And I want to make sure that you're setting them in such a way that they really resonate with who you are, who you want to become, and they have a big why so that you can stick to them and not forget about them. So Bill Gates has this quote, and he basically says that most people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. So this planning is going to be for the next decade, for the next 10 years. And I want you to think big. I want you to think bold. And then I'm going to give you some specific actions on some questions to ask, and then in the next video, some actions to take so that you can accomplish those BHAGs, those big, hairy, audacious goals. All right, so the first exercise, I literally just want you to get out a sheet of paper, grab your journal, and just ask yourself a couple of questions. And as you ask these questions, of course, go through the answers and be real, be honest with yourself. So here is question number 1. What did you accomplish in the last decade? So this is an opportunity for you to reflect. This is an opportunity for you to look back on the past 10 years and first of all, pat yourself on the back. Yay! For those things that you accomplished, big or small, because we all need to give ourselves credit for the small steps and the large steps that we have taken over the past year and over the past decade. So really go all the way back 10 years and write down every single thing that you can think of that you accomplished in the last 10 years. I also want you to think about some lessons learned over the last 10 years. What worked well? What didn't work well? What are some things that you hoped that you would have accomplished that maybe you haven't? Because obviously this list is going to not only help you congratulate yourself for the successes, but it's also going to give you some insight on some of the things that maybe you want to accomplish in the next decade. So be real about this. What did you accomplish? But then also, what are those things that didn't work out well? Some lessons learned from the past 10 years, some things that you wish you would have done differently or better, and that will help you go into question number 2. So question number 2 is all about, what do you want to accomplish by the end of the year 2029? That's crazy to even think about. But for the next decade, what are those big goals, those dreams, those aspirations, those things that have been on your to-do list or been in the back of your mind for years and you just have not gotten to yet? Or maybe there are some new things, right? So you really want to think about, what are the things that you want to see, do, visit, experience over the next 10 years? And a lot of times I try to put these in buckets, and I call these the F's, right? So here they are. You want to think about things that you want to accomplish in the next 10 years as it relates to your friends, your family, fun activities, your faith, your finances, personal fulfillment. And I was trying to come up with an F word that basically means your learning, your education, your development. And the only thing that I could find was your flowering. That is what the thesaurus told me. Think about those different categories and really think about, okay, what are the things that I want to accomplish in each of these areas over the next 10 years. And I really think that last one around your development, your intellectual stimulation, your learning, all of that is really important as well. So even though I don't technically have an F word for that category, be sure that you include that, okay? All right, number 3. What are the goals or the things that you need to accomplish in order to see, do, visit, experience the things that you said that you want to experience in the next 10 years? So in this area, what you're going to do for this question is look back at question number 2, all of the things that you want to accomplish, and you're going to break those down into goals, right? And you're really going to say, what do I need to do to achieve or accomplish those things that I just wrote down in question number 2? And I always say, try to make sure that your goals are SMART. So specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, meaning that they have a due date. So you really want to kind of break down those big accomplishments over the next 10 years and break them down into smaller goals of things that you can actually track and monitor your progress over the next 10 years. And keep in mind, you're not going to be able to accomplish all of these things right in the next year, because these are more of your 10-year, your long-term goals. So you're going to take them into bite-sized pieces. But the first question that you have to ask yourself is, what are those goals? What are the things that you need to accomplish, tackle, and basically, figure out in order to accomplish the things over the next 10 years, okay? So the next question, which is question number 4, who do you have to be in order to achieve those goals? And so this is so important. A lot of times we operate on a have, do, be mentality. Meaning, well, I have to have the time to do the things that I want to do to become the person that I want to become. You gotta flip-flop that. You really need to think about it from a be, do, have mentality. And my coach, oh my gosh, Jim Thornton, literally nailed this into my head, all of our heads, over the course of my coaching time with him. So you really need to be the person that be, do, have, that does the things to have the things that you want, okay? So you really need to think about, what type of person do you need to be to accomplish these goals? What habits do you need to create? Who do you need to show up as in order to accomplish these goals? Which leads into question number 5. What are the habits that you need to be the type of person that accomplishes those 10-year goals, that decade of goals that you want to accomplish? Okay, so you need to show up and be a type of person to accomplish a goal. But in order to be that type of person, there are habits that are underlying that are going to help you to be that type of person. So what are those habits that you need to make sure that you have so that you can show up as that person that accomplishes those goals? Number 6. And this one, you're gonna have to be real with yourself. You're just gonna have to say yes or no on this, and it might be hard to face the facts, but the good thing is you can literally become the person that eventually says yes to these 2 questions. So number 6 is kind of like an assessment. So what I want you to do is go back to your responses for questions number 3, 4, and 5 and ask yourself, do you have unwavering faith in yourself that you can accomplish these goals and that you can be the type of person with the habits to accomplish these goals? And are you willing to put in extraordinary effort to accomplish these goals? Okay, so do you have unwavering faith that it can happen for you? And are you willing to put in extraordinary effort? And so these 2 concepts are within a book that I absolutely love called The Miracle Equation. And it is so underlying in the sense of the things that you need to think about on a daily basis to become the person that you want to become and to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish. You really have to have unwavering faith and belief in yourself that it is possible. And then you have to be willing to put the action behind it. And that is where the extraordinary effort comes in. And a lot of times, if you go back through these big goals that you want to accomplish for yourself over the next decade, if you don't have a strong why, or a why that truly resonates with who you are as a person, then you will not be able to answer yes to those 2 questions. So if you're doing something for someone else because they want you to do it, you may not accomplish that goal. If you're doing something that is not in alignment with your passions and what you truly love and the things that truly drive you and excite you, then it's going to be harder for you to accomplish those goals. If you're doing things for the wrong reason, the wrong why, then it's going to be hard for you to find the determination, the motivation, and the unwavering faith to get those things accomplished. So I really want you to go back through the questions 3, 4, and 5 and examine your answers and just ask yourself, do I have unwavering faith that I can do this? Am I willing to put forth extraordinary effort to make it happen? Okay, so that's your exercise for today. I want you to go through those 6 questions, those 6 steps, and just be real with yourself. Document it, write it down. Don't rush through this exercise. Take your time with this because the answers to these questions are going to lead into part 2 of our video series on how to make 2020 your best decade ever. All right, as always, if you have any questions or comments, we would love to hear it below. Be sure to jot those down for us. Also, subscribe to our channel and connect with us on social media. And if you haven't done so already, join us in our free Facebook group. It's called Prep to Pro Cheer and Dance. We are in there every single week with a free training on Tuesdays, #Tuesday Trainings. So we would love to see you in there. So you just go to Facebook and search for Prep to Pro and you can find us in Facebook. All right, that's all for now. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I look forward to helping you make sure that you make 2020 your best decade ever. All right, talk to you later. Bye.